Welcome back to the Journal Editorial Report as we count down to the third presidential debate Wednesday in Las Vegas, hosted by Fox's own Chris Wallace. During their final debate showdown, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are slated to square off on debt and entitlements, immigration, the Supreme Court, foreign hotspots, and fitness to be president. But as Trump scrambles to respond to growing allegations of sexual misconduct and Clinton deals with the fallout from the latest WikiLeaks disclosures, will the issues break through it all on Wednesday night? We're back with Jan Henninger, Jason Riley, Mary Kissel, and James Freeman. So, Mary, will we look back if Trump loses on the last week as the week that did him in?
Well, I have to say, voters are frankly appalled by Trump after that second debate. He lost big time among women. He's basically even with Hillary when it comes to the independent vote, but he's not appealing to those people with his
message and response.
No, absolutely not. And just some numbers here for you, Paul. He lost women by 12 points, down 12 points in a week. Suburban women down 10. This is from the Fox News poll. White college-educated women by 7. Republican women down by 6 in a week. His favorability ratings went down, and she's up by 7 points. It's not a good picture.
Let me put a couple other numbers up. Honest and trustworthy for both of them. Hillary, in the Fox poll, Hillary Clinton, 63% say not honest or trustworthy. 64% say Trump isn't, James, so that's a wash. But here's the big number. 56% of the voters say Donald Trump is not qualified to be president, and only 31% say that about Hillary Clinton. That's a very tough number.
It's a tough number, but I think that's one he can turn around. And by the way, I think those likability and untrustworthy numbers against her are the reason he's still in this thing. But I think in Vegas, he has a real opportunity to keep pounding away at this qualification because what do you mean, whose qualification? Hillary, we see the advantage there because she has all the lines on the resume, all the offices held. But as he pointed out, 30 years, where are the results? And the toughest, surprisingly, one of the toughest questions for her to answer at the last debate is, what have you done? What are your achievements? She couldn't come up with one. She keeps going back to this deal that Ted Kennedy and Orrin Hatch cut in the Senate 20 years ago. It's bizarre. After twice elected senator, secretary of state, there's no there.
Well, let's try to pull a few of these things together because Trump does need a strategy for what remains in the campaign, and all the numbers in the Fox poll are going south for him, no matter which category you look at, except white men. All right.
And on the issues, he's still leading barely in the economy.
Barely in the economy.
But that sounds like an opportunity to me,
Dan. I think what's going on, if you looked at Trump, he gave this extraordinary speech down in West Palm Beach. It was just sort of rousing the crowds. I think what Trump is going to do now is run a completely emotional campaign, maxing out his support among white men. He understands that he's not going to gain marginally among these women, but he's going to suppress Hillary Clinton's vote by making her seem absolutely unsupportable among Bernie Sanders voters.
Jason.
I agree, Dan. He's going to go emotional. But I don't think it's going to help him on the qualification question you were talking about, because the other factor that is problematic for him is his temperament. He's losing 63% to 38% on temperament. People don't think he's qualified because they don't think he is a calm, measured guy who will make sober decisions.
His base doesn't care. They don't believe him.
And what has been on display this past week is temperament.
But the issue is, are there enough voters out there, white male voters, to put him over the line? And I think the answer to that is no, because he's losing so many college-educated white voters.
Try to suppress her vote with these.
Yeah, but how he can get beyond the base Wednesday night is to be tough but professional, talk about the economy, talk about fighting terrorism. And this is one for independents and women might be particularly appealing. Remember, in this Fox poll, the idea of repealing Obamacare is more popular than anyone running for president this year. This is a great issue for him. Premiums going up. He's begun to talk about it. He needs to talk about it more.
But can I tell you, we have been saying this for, I don't know, lo these many years, certainly lo these many weeks, that this is what he should do. His own staff, people are saying, they're even shouting in the back of the gallery, stick to the issues. But he cannot do it. And when he plays into this character, makes the contest a referendum on character, he plays exactly into the Clinton strategy. They want him to talk about that because it makes him look small instead of looking and talking about the issues. So, I mean, he's not listening to me, certainly. But
the irony, though, Paul, is that back before the first debate, when he closed the gap between himself and Hillary Clinton, it was after he had given those series of speeches on taxes, regulation, energy, and foreign policy. Substance closed the gap for him. When he got off that, the gap has widened again.
So the latest thing, and then briefly, he's pulled out of Virginia, and he's going to focus on 4 states. The reporting is North Carolina, Ohio, Florida, and Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's true, and I think the electoral map is shifting. We've seen areas, for example, like Orange County, California, may go for the Democrats for the first time in decades. Virginia Beach may go to the Democrats, but Donald Trump is trying to open up new territory that the Democrats held. Iowa, for instance, he could pick up an electoral seat in Maine. But again, does he have enough votes to put him over the line?
Last word, James, you got one?
Well, Orange County is not what it used to be, changing demographics there, but also he's ahead in Ohio. So, this thing is not over.
All right. Thank you, James. Still ahead, more fallout from this week's WikiLeaks release as advisors close to Hillary Clinton reveal their true feelings about conservative Catholics.